For anyone who's ever written an essay, you know that the heart and soul of your paper is the body. That's where your main argument and points are. It's where your evidence and examples are. If you don't feel confident about writing the body paragraphs of an essay, today I'm going to give you all of the essential tips that will enable you to get a high score for IELTS, for TOEFL, for high school or university. It doesn't matter what kind of essay you need to write. Today, we're going to look at all the fundamentals of the body paragraph. Join us. Welcome, one and all. My name is Kevin. I'm an English teacher and a writer. This class focuses in on some simple and effective speaking and writing tips to help you improve your English. If you like the channel and you feel you are gaining something, anything at all, feel free to give that subscribe button a click. It is greatly appreciated. We're going to get right down to things. When you write an essay, you have the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. The body has all your examples, your reasons. An essay is an argument, and you are using your examples and reasons, your evidence, to prove a point. Today we're going to look at writing a literary essay, which is an essay about a novel. It doesn't matter if you're doing an argumentative essay or a literary essay or a research paper. The only difference really is in your kind of evidence. So if you're writing an argumentative essay, then your evidence is your opinions. If you're writing a research paper, you will get quotes from other articles, from reputable academic journals and things like that. If you are writing a literary essay, you are going to go to the novel you are reading and get quotes that connect to your topic sentence and follow your thesis statement. Remember, when you're writing an essay, your thesis statement is your opinion statement. It is the most important sentence of any essay because all of your points in your body paragraph and everything else in your paper will connect back to your thesis statement. Today, we are going to write some body paragraphs on a literary essay for the novel Indian Horse by Richard Wagamese. This is an Indigenous tale written by a First Peoples author. Some of the main themes it deals with are residential schools, assimilation, physical and mental abuse, and perhaps most importantly, a loss of identity. If you haven't read it, I highly, highly recommend it. For hockey fans, it has that aspect of the game in it, but it's also a wonderful kind of cyclical tale of losing and regaining one's identity, which is something that is obviously been a huge struggle for Indigenous people, given all of the exploitation and abuse and inequality that they have faced in the past hundreds of years. The first thing we need to do is understand our thesis statement. So I have a model thesis statement here written for Indian Horse, and it is: residential schools deeply affect Saul's mental health through the racism he faces and his journey towards healing. So we're going to get points that connect to racism, connect to Sal's destructive lifestyle, and how that and connects to his journey towards rediscovering his identity. When you are reading your book for class, don't go too long without taking notes. The earlier you can get your essay topic question, the better. And you just want to find quotes that match those key topic words from the question, okay? When we're coming down and we're beginning our body paragraph, any body paragraph starts with a topic sentence. The topic sentence introduces the main point of the paragraph. So you're going to take your main points from the thesis statement and you're going to make a body paragraph for each main point. In Indian Horse, Richard Wagamis demonstrates how residential schools and racism work together to strip Indigenous people of their dignity and identity, leaving lasting psychological scars on Saul. And the next thing we need to do, again, we're coming up with a template, a formula that works for any essay. This is our body paragraph formula. Number 1, topic sentence. Number 2 is evidence. Since we're doing a literary essay, our evidence is a quote. And when you put in your quotes, you want to integrate or put in your quotes seamlessly, which means smoothly. That means you don't start the sentence with the quote. You start a sentence that goes and connects into your quote. Very important to do that for full marks. Let's check out a quote with some seamless integration. When Saul recalls his first impressions of St. Jerome's, that's the residential school, he explains how, quote, they rubbed us nearly raw. It felt like they were trying to remove more than grime or odor. Now we have our in-text citation, author, page number. Body paragraph step 3 is analysis. This is where you get a chance to explain the deeper meaning and the reasons and how this quote connects to your argument and the main topics. Very, very important to follow this format for your body paragraphs. Evidence analysis. Evidence analysis. I repeat it a lot because students that don't do it end up writing book reports and talk too much about the plot instead of giving evidence and analyzing it to prove your argument. Okay? Okay. So here's our analysis of the quote. Saul's trauma symbolizes dehumanization and cultural erasure, which were an integral part of the assimilation process used by residential schools. Although Saul is able to escape from St. Jerome's and gets a chance to play for the minor league team in Toronto, he still faces a continual onslaught of racism. So we have our analysis. Now, we're adding a second point. So we're connecting, and you can see the connection with the subordinate conjunction, although that does two things. It helps us to connect in this case, and it also creates a more complex grammar structure with a multi-clause sentence. So now we're getting into the second example. And again, you can see there's some seamless integration of the quote. When his coach gets angry at him for fighting, Saul responds, "I'm giving them what they want, the raging redskin." End quote. Then we have our in-text citation with the author's name and the page number. Remember, put your punctuation after the brackets, after the in-text citation, okay? Whether it's a period or a comma. Move it from the quote and put it outside the brackets, just like you see here. Now that we've given our evidence for our second body paragraph quote, we have our analysis. When Saul stops following his ability to read plays and submits to racist stereotypes and his repressed anger, he loses his identity and dignity, sending him on a path of self-destruction. For those of you who have read the novel, you understand that this is where Saul gives up playing hockey, gives up his hopes and dreams. He goes and does some small menial labor jobs, and he gets heavily into drinking. There you have it. Now, the only thing we haven't done here is actually written a summary sentence. You need to check with your teacher, and it depends on the situation, on whether you are required to have a summary sentence to conclude your body paragraph. In some situations, for example, IELTS or TOEFL exams, you don't need a summary sentence. You can just finish on your reasoning, your analysis of. In that case, there's no quotes on those exams, but you're giving your example and then giving your reasons and opinions, and you can just leave it at that. So we can write a summary sentence for this right now. It could be like thus, hence, therefore. Those are good connecting words that can lead us into the summary sentence. Hence, it is evident through Saul's residential school trauma and the subsequent racism he faces that these experiences are detrimental to his psychological health. Okay, that's not bad. I think we'll leave it at that. I was debating whether or not to go ahead and do the body paragraph 2 for this essay, which I have, but I don't think it's necessary because I'm just going to repeat the formula, and this is basically what you're looking to do, guys, for any essay. I want to give a shout out to my friend and student Darby for helping contribute to this body paragraph. This is something that we've been working on together in some of our classes, and just like all my students, he contributes a lot of very insightful ideas that evoke strong emotions in the reader. We're looking really good for today, guys. That's the template, and that is what you need to do if you're going to write a successful body paragraph. Once again, if you like the video, join us and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns whatsoever, I'm more than happy to respond and try to give you some pointers at any time. Essay writing is kind of like a formula, and once you get that structure down, it's really it's easier, and your papers become more well organized. You can really focus on getting your best quotes and giving your best analysis, especially in your body. That's what your body paragraphs are all about. So if you just focus on those things, then I'm sure that you can submit a very well written paper. Until we meet again, I wish you incredible health in body and mind, and I'm sure we'll see each other again real soon. Take care.